I'm Joe Rapari, and this is Tab, the Truth Always Boomer. Welcome back to part 2 of the Young Turks Nitwtery on the Fiasco that is Medicare for All. So let's pull the tab on that and see what happens. So let's keep going, shall we? Now, in this next clip, I'm not saying he's lying, but what I am saying is he's ignorant on this entire subject. He hasn't done his due diligence, and he doesn't know what he's talking about. All he's doing is stating a position that is opposed to the president's position. Now, whether the facts support that or not, he doesn't care, as long as he spouts an opinion or a stance that is opposite the president and that the president is wrong. But, sorry to say, in this case, he has no idea what he's talking about. He's ignorant on this whole topic. I guess that's his problem. He didn't do his research, he didn't do his due diligence, and so when he comes on air, he sounds like a nitwit.
But now to get into the specific things that he has said. There were many. He says specifically that the plans that are out there right now for Medicare for All would take away benefits from seniors. A lot of his op-ed is actually fear-mongering specifically about what Medicare for All would represent for seniors. It's not in any way true. The leading plan right now, the Bernie Sanders plan, actually adds things like dental and vision insurance, pays for hearing aids, things like that are not covered under traditional coverage right now. And so the idea that this is going to result in funding cuts for seniors or worse coverage for seniors is simply not true, and all of the fact checkers, thankfully, are being very clear about that.
And as far as the president saying that this will be worse coverage for seniors and that it would take away benefits from seniors, both of those statements are absolutely positively true. Let's take the first one, worse coverage for seniors. It absolutely will be worse coverage because right now they're paying $312 each per month. Under Medicare for All, they're going to be paying $2,279 per month. That sure sounds like worse coverage to me. It's going to result in no coverage because nobody can afford that. Then it would take away benefits from seniors. Of course it's going to take away benefits because nobody can afford to pay this much money, so there aren't going to be any benefits to have. They're not going to have anything. They're going to say, screw that, I can't afford this. That's what the president's talking about. Worse coverage? Check. Yes, true. Would take away benefits from seniors? Yes, check. True. Well, boys, this really goes to show us that you guys are totally ignorant on this whole subject. That you haven't done your due diligence and have done virtually zero research. Let's go through this, shall we? You said that the president said that it would result in worse coverage for seniors, and you said that's a lie. No, that's true. And the president said it would take away benefits from seniors, and that's true too. And then you said this is all fear-mongering from the president. No, it's not. It's not fear-mongering. He's telling the truth. And then you knuckleheads come up with this, that there's things that the Bernie's plan would add that are not covered by traditional Medicare, things like optical and hearing and dental. Well, I'm sorry to inform you guys, but you guys are completely ignorant on this topic. So let's look at traditional Medicare. Traditional Medicare does offer drug plans, dental plans, optic plans, and hearing plans. If you would like a drug plan, it would cost you $32 a month. A dental plan, $32 a month. Optical plan, $32 a month. A hearing plan, $32 a month. It all depends on what your needs are and how much you want to pay on which plans you choose. You know, it's very simple. Pick the ones you want, and then you pay that much a month. This stuff's not free. And as far as these plans being offered by Bernie Sanders' Medicare for All plan, who knows what that chucklehead Bernie Sanders is going to charge you for these plans? This $32 a month for these individual plans? That is a damn good deal, man. You can't ask for anything better than that. Bernie gets a hold of this, who knows where these plans are going to go? Through the roof is where they're going to go. So on this clip, there's no other way to say it. The Shankarooni's just lying to you. He's telling you outright lies and fabrications. There's no other way to say it. He's lying to you. He's absolutely lying. Check it out.
Okay, so lots of hilarious things in here. To go back to the socialism for a second, he wrote he said, virtually everywhere it has been tried, socialism has brought suffering, misery, and decay, like Norway, Finland, Sweden. Oops, he did not mention those countries.
So, Shankarino, you still going with that? You going with that? That's your final answer? Ooh, sorry. You're out of there. It is certainly true that Sweden, Norway, Finland, and Denmark are notable economic successes. What is false is that these countries are particularly socialist. Perhaps a better name for what the Nordic countries practice would be compassionate capitalism. The myth of Nordic socialism is partially created by a confusion between socialism, meaning government exerting control or ownership of businesses, and the welfare state in the form of government-provided social safety net programs. However, the left's embrace of socialism is not merely a case of redefining a word. Simply look at the long-running affinity of leftists with socialist dictators in Cuba, Nicaragua, and Venezuela for proof many on the left long for real socialism. To the extent that the left wants to point to an example of successful socialism, not just generous welfare states, the Nordic countries are actually a poor case to cite. Did you hear that, Shank? The Nordic countries are actually a poor case to cite. Regardless of the perception, in reality, the Nordic countries practice mostly free market economics paired with high taxes exchanged for generous government-entitled programs. Damn, you guys lose again. And thanks to Jeffrey Dorfman for his article, Sorry, Bernie Bros, but Nordic countries are not socialist, from Forbes magazine. Thanks, Jeffrey. Here in this next clip, as I said, the words misleading and dishonest are perfect for this clip. He's being dishonest and he's misleading you. He's just not giving you the facts. Here's the facts.
Back during the various debates in the last year over repealing the ACA, he signed on and agreed to plans that would have eliminated protections for pre-existing conditions. He was totally fine for those at that point. And even as we speak, the Trump administration is arguing in court that the protections for those with pre-existing conditions in the ACA is unconstitutional and they should not have to defend those. So he is lying to you both before and after writing this, specifically about pre-existing conditions.
So let's dig deeper into this, shall we? The court case he's referring to is Texas versus Azar. So if you look at this article from the Kaiser Health News, it looks like it agrees with his point that was suggested in the last clip I played. Trump's talk on pre-existing conditions doesn't match his administration's actions. Trump has said, "We will always protect patients with pre-existing conditions," very importantly. So this article seems to support the last clip I played, but if you dig deeper into the article, you see this. The most generous assessment came from Jonathan Adler, a health law expert at Case Western Reserve University. Adler has supported previous Obamacare challenges, but he argued that this one is legally unsound. He agreed that the White House's actual actions are at odds with the president's promise. And here's the interesting part. But, Adler said, the structure of Trump's claim, promising what the administration will do rather than commenting on what it has done, leaves open the possibility of taking other steps to keep pre-existing conditions protections in place. That's true, other experts acknowledged. So far, the White House has postponed a legislative push until after the 2020 election, leaving a vacuum if the courts do wipe out the health law. So basically, the president hasn't said one way or the other what he wants to do with pre-existing conditions. So to say that he's lying or to say that he's made up his mind already is being dishonest. He hasn't. It's open. It's in a vacuum right now. So, again, I don't know what you guys are talking about. Here we go again. There's no other way to say it. Shankalicious, he's lying. He says, a lie that is so audacious, I had to look it up. He didn't look anything up. All he would have had to do was a 15-second Google search. He wouldn't go on air saying this because he'd know he'd be lying. But guess what? I looked it up, and here's what I found.
conditions.
Okay, we're not done. Two more amazing lies in this, and look, it's not a miscommunication. It's not a misinterpretation. They're just flat out lies. So he said Democrats have already harmed seniors by slashing Medicare by more than $800 billion over 10 years to pay for Obamacare. That's a lie that's so audacious that I had to look it up, and I'm like, what? How? Like he?
Ooh, Shankarino got his panties all in a bunch on this one. Damn, facts really hurt, I guess. Wow. Well, I'm going to call you out on this one, Shankarino. You haven't gotten any of these right yet, have you? So I'm going to call you out on this one, too. This is from the Atlantic and business section. Reality check. Obama cut Social Security and Medicare by much more than the GOP. Let's read, shall we? Obama's 10-year Medicare budget was $70 billion below the GOP, and his announced cuts were about $250 billion deeper than the GOP. In fact, as Michael Linden at the Center for American Progress pointed out, Obama's new proposal would mean about $1 trillion in lower Medicare spending in this decade compared to projections from before he took office. So you're kind of right there, Shankarino. It was a lie. It wasn't $800 billion. It was $1 trillion. It's $200 billion more than the president said. So I don't know what you're all bitching about here. You got your panties all in a bunch because you didn't do your research, and this fact is kicking you right in the ass. Don't you love facts? So you haven't gotten any of these right yet, and here's another one you got wrong. So I love facts.
And finally, again, he's lying, misleading, and being dishonest. He knows that's not what the president meant. He's just, spouting his agenda, his political point of view, which is diametrically opposed to the president no matter what the facts say. If the facts say this, and it goes along with the president, he's going to say that goes against the president. So again, here's what the president really meant.
Okay, and the last one here is, he said, there would be massive rationing of health care. Doctors and hospitals would be put out of business. Yeah, that's right. The Democratic plan is there will be no more hospitals or doctors.
Mm-hmm.
You chuckleheads know that's not what the president meant. So let's look at what the president really meant, shall we? Talking about doctors and hospitals. Let's say your doctor works 10 hours per day and sees approximately 25 patients. Everyone now has this fiasco called Medicare for All. She now has to see 35 patients per day. How is she going to do that? Well, she could work longer hours and or more days per week. She could take patients on a first-come, first-served basis until her hours worked are up. She could put you on a waiting list. She could spend less time with each patient and sacrifice quality. She could just start taking patients who pay cash and become a private doctor to only those patients, a concierge physician. Do you think doctors who have spent enormous amounts of time and money on their chosen profession are now going to work for what the government is going to pay them? Do you think they're going to work more days, longer hours, and sacrifice quality of care for less money? Basically become government employees? No, I hardly think so. So let's look at hospitals. They'll be in the same boat. They'll be losing doctors, nurses, technicians, and support staff. Care will be rationed. Quality of service will suffer greatly because of the overburdened system. The gap between what Medicare for All would pay and what private insurance companies now pay will be huge, about 40% lower. Struggling hospitals and rural centers would virtually close overnight. This is the kind of thing the president's talking about. Let's look at emergency rooms. Emergency rooms would become triage centers, assigning degrees of urgency to wounds and illnesses to decide the order of treatment of a large number of patients. You come in with a broken arm and excruciating pain? Sorry, pal, on the totem pole of patients, you're way at the bottom. Go over there and wait in excruciating pain until it's your turn. Yep, those are the kind of ERs I want. So you think hospitals and doctors' offices, they're not businesses? They're businesses, man. So you're going to slash their profits by 40% and they're just automatically going to stay in business? Out of the goodness of their heart, they're going to give you all their services for free. None of this stuff is free. It all costs money. And I've just shown you chuckleheads how much all this stuff's going to cost. You're the ones that brought up at the very beginning that you want to keep it, hey, just like my dad has. His Medicare is great. He loves it. Okay, let's keep it just like your dad's Medicare. but only 320 million people have to have it. I showed you the numbers. The numbers are right on the money. So you guys need to do your due diligence and get your facts straight. And that's all I got to say. You guys lose another one.
So, ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to give you some final thoughts, if I could. I showed you the numbers, and I believe that my numbers are extremely accurate. I did my due diligence. I did the research. I did the legwork. I spent hours researching this. And like I said, this subject is in my wheelhouse. I know all about Medicare, and I've learned a lot about this farce called Medicare for All. These two nitwits don't know anything about Medicare. That's why they say, oh, let's just roll it out to the whole country, just like the one my dad and my mom have. Yeah, it'll be great for everybody. That just shows you they have no clue what Medicare is. They don't know. So all they do is spout a point of view that is opposite of the president and forget about the facts. They don't care about the facts, as long as it's opposite of what the president says, so they can make the president look bad. But hopefully in this video, I made these two nitwits look bad. So as explained in this video, Medicare for All will not work. It's a pie-in-the-sky wish, man. It's just a talking point. It's a promise they can't keep. I showed you how much this thing's going to cost. Now, I agree we should do something with our medical system, but this Medicare for All is not the way to go. There's other ways we could do it. I'll make a video on that sometime in the near future. So what I want to say is, all you seniors out there, use your heads, man. You saw the numbers. This can't work. So what I'm asking is all 73 million of you seniors out there who are on Medicare, just like I am, don't let the Democrats take our Medicare away. So in 2020, vote Trump. Thanks, everyone. And if you like this video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and leave a comment if you would. It would be greatly appreciated. That's it for now. More news later. Take care, and as always, be safe.